Welcome to another exciting episode of Cars with Big Boy Trev. My name is Big Boy Trev, and today we're at TransAfrica Motors for the launch of these brand new trucks that we reviewed on Cars with Big Boy Trev. But first things first, let's take a look at the highlights of today's show. This week on Cars with Big Boy Trev, we preview the unveiling of TransAfrica Motors' new light commercial trucks for the Kenyan market. And finally, we say goodbye to Nissan's trusty workhorse, the NP200 pickup. We check out its design, cabin comfort, practicality, efficiency, plus evaluate its forthcoming replacement. Catch this and much more only on Cars with Big Boy Trev this Sunday at 5 p.m. only on NTV. In a bold move set to redefine Kenya's commercial vehicle landscape, TransAfrica Motors unveiled its latest range of FAW rigid trucks during a prestigious ceremony attended by media representatives and esteemed customers. The event, which took place in Nairobi, showcased the culmination of years of collaboration between TransAfrica Motors and FAW Motors, making a significant milestone in both companies' quest to deliver powerful, reliable, and competitively priced trucks to the Kenyan customers. Let's listen in to the Managing Director, Mr. Ali Zubeidi's remarks during the event.
First and foremost, allow me to officially welcome you to TransAfrica Motors. Today we mark the launch of the new light trucks. I'm privileged to inform you that, in addition, we have been able to introduce different truck models into the market to suit variety of business needs. At TransAfrica Motors Limited, we are committed to provide quality product and service. This has given us a competitive advantage in the Kenya market and beyond indeed. The achievement would have not been possible without the continued support of our group, our esteemed clients, and hardworking staff spread across our branches in Mombasa, Nairobi, Nakuru, Kisumu, and Eldoret. As a company, we are equally proud to let you know that we have heavily invested in the state-of-the-art equipment in order to efficiently and promptly meet our diverse client needs, including but not limited to after-sale service. Last but not least, I would also want to appreciate, on a special note, our client who found time to join us in this launch, as well as those who did not make it to the event, for continuously supporting the FAW brand.
The unveiling ceremony was not just showcasing the impressive lineup of trucks, but also cementing TransAfrica Motors' commitment to excellence through a landmark agreement with FAW Motors. A delivery agreement of 1,000 units was signed, underscoring the confidence of both companies that they have in the market demand for these innovative trucks. The agreement was signed by Mr. Karama, TransAfrica Motors Nairobi branch manager, and Mr. Young, FAW's country representative. It signifies a strategic partnership aimed at meeting the country's evolving needs of the commercial vehicle sector.
So we have been in partnership for the last 20 years, since 2005. We have opened branches all across Kenya, in Mombasa, Nairobi, Nakuru, Eldoret, and Kisumu. TransAfrica, it has a very strong team, well-trained team in terms of after-sales, covering up all our 5 branches. And today we are supporting more than 6,000 units on the road. So we are covering up all the after-sales in terms of sales, also contract in terms of service. JK6, it has been very successful in South Africa. For the last 4 years, they have been selling more than 1,000 units a year. And this model has a 6-cylinder European standard engine with the Euro 3. The torque is very high, the horsepower is 180, with a transmission of 8-speed Eton. The cabin is very comfortable, so the power is there and comfort, and the carrying capacity is more. So the biggest segment in Kenya is the light trucks and medium-sized trucks. So our models with the new engine, with the new model of engine, the Euro 3 engines, we have more power, more torque. So we have all the support and the after sales for that. So TransAfrica Motors, our head office is in Mombasa. We have our branch in Nairobi, in Nakuru, in Kisumu, in Eldoret. So we have these 5 branches, and we're opening more branches in the near future to cover up the after sales and make sure that our customers are fully supported.
Welcome to Kibo Motorcycles. We're here in Amsterdam. My name is Hype from the Grijspaarden. In Kenya, people call me Mr. Hype. The frame is on the outside of everything that's vulnerable. So the engine is on the inside, battery, carburetor, air filter, all these sensitive components, they're protected by the frame. For us, those were initially ideas, and then out of ideas we went to sketches of ideas, and we got feedback in each and every design round. So we did 8 rounds in total. Each and every time we started at this office, brainstorming, creative processes. We came to Kenya and we confronted different groups of users of motorcycles by bringing them into a room, showing them the sketches that we did, talk about the ideas, and have them actually validate, or maybe falsify is probably the most important part of it, some of those ideas. What was very clear from the beginning was that there's 3 things that can't be compromised. One is quality, the other is safety, reliability, and the third one is looks. And the looks might not sound so important, but we all know that, something can be of great quality and be super reliable, but if it's ugly as hell, no one's going to buy it. So then, of course, the fourth component is the cost. It has to be cost competitive. K250 is a higher end bike. It's more powerful. It's different in the way it's designed and engineered to a certain extent. But it's also quite similar in ways because it's a K-series bike, K150, K250. So it means the chassis is the same, and a lot of other components are the same. Of course, there are those components that are specific to K250. Whatever has to do with the drivetrain needs to be stronger, needs to be more powerful. Suspensions, the bigger tank, the exhaust pipe that's positioned differently to create more ground clearance. At Kibo, when we focus on designing, engineering, manufacturing motorcycles, we don't tell you we sell motorcycles, we sell mobility. We're not only your friends when you come to buy that product. We ensure that it's good quality and that you're set up with after-sales services, availability of spare parts, the maintenance, everything to keep you up and running. We are not your friends only at the time of purchase, but we're your friends throughout the lifetime of the motorcycle.
Welcome to Cars with Big Boy Trev social media feedback segment. We give you the opportunity to speak of what you've seen on the show and how we can improve CBBT. We go straight to our Facebook page, and of course, last week we reviewed the L200 Mitsubishi pickup, and we have somebody called Kimngeno Bernard. He said, what is the value for money for the L200 pickup? Well, I can tell you for a fact, L200 is reliable, is strong, and is the cheapest among the Japanese bunch. So if you think that it's the right pickup for you, please go on and check out this particular car at Simba Court Motors. Next, gentleman called Ichuki Peter, and he says, Mitsubishi L200 is such an amazing pickup. With tilt telescopic steering, meaning it can be easily adjusted, rear camera available when reversing, leather seats, good space for the passenger, and of course, the charging system. I actually like it. It's economical and has plenty of torque and stability. Well, thank you. I think you agree with me that the L200 is actually a very good viable proposition if you're looking for a double cab pickup. Make sure you go and visit them on their site. Finally, Alfred Nduru, 6.3 M, it's worth it. Well, I can tell you, if you go down to the market and see the value of these brand new pickups, they're quite expensive, but this particular L200 actually gives you value for money. So if you think the L200 is far much better as compared to the rivals, the Nissan Navara, the Ford Ranger, and the Isuzu D-Max, send us your thoughts as seen on the social media handles below. We get back to the feedback next week. We're signing out. Up next, it's all about this particular vehicle, the Nissan NP200 one-ton pickup. This is the key to Nissan's smallest yet efficient pickup, the NP200 refreshed for 2020. And with prices starting at 2.289 million shillings, do you reckon it's a right pickup for your business? We're going to find out later. But first things first, let's check out this particular design theme on this particular car. So this design has been there for quite a while on the front profile. And as you can see, for the last decade, it's been standard. But now for 2020, they've enhanced the visual appeal to correspond with the design language that you probably find in the Nissan X-Trail, in the Nissan Qashqai, in the big boy Patrol, and many other Nissan vehicles that are available right now on display. So basically the V-motif design on the Nissan, on the logo, corresponds that new age design by Nissan. And of course you can see the plastic cladding of the bumper has been re-engineered just to give this car that je ne sais quoi we keep on talking about every single day. Of course you do have rectangular headlights, and of course the quadratic grille that complements it, and then of course the clear sight. This particular polycarbonate headlamp also increases visibility at night. Very important if you're traveling at night with the NP200, delivering goods and services from wherever you are. Now moving over to the side profile, as you can see, again basic design's been there for 10 years, and of course this being part of the CMF platform that the Renault Nissan family has. The dimensions are similar to probably what you probably find in a Renault Duster or any other Nissan product that has a CMF platform. It's scalable and it's tough. Now on the side as well, as you can see, not too much fanciness as well, but you can see the color-coded side mirror and of course the bumper corresponding to each other. That je ne sais quoi that Nissan has is now being employed full effectively. And as you can see, the designed face, the body panels are flat and of course a bit edged, just to give this car that butch look, as you can see. And of course the fuel tank on the right hand side, and of course the amazing ground clearance of about 190 millimeters to ensure that you're able to transport your goods and services in any form or way on any road. Now moving over to the back, as you can see, design face as well, Nissan has tried to ensure that this particular pickup also is stylish. So as you can see from the headlamps, clear coated headlamps, and the tail lamps ensure that this particular car has that modern look. It's been there for 10 years, but now enhanced with this modern design of the tail lights. And as you can see, this particular pickup also comes with a rubberized bed liner, and of course this plastic cladding that corresponds with the side mirror and of course the rear bumper. And as you can see here as well, plenty of space. The V-motif design also comes into play. Remember, Nissan are trying to keep these cars very corporate, have this look on every single model that they have, and that is so important. But matters different inside. Join me as I take you through the cabin features and the quality, how practical the cabin is of the NP200. So step inside this practical cabin of the Nissan NP200, and I can tell you for a fact, Nissan have enhanced this particular cabin to be much more practical, much more comfortable, and of course give you a value for money proposition as to why the NP200 is the right pickup for you. So step inside and see this particular cabin. As you can see from the dashboard perspective, yes, it's a one-piece design, and I've actually tried to enhance it, giving it some texture just to give that two-tone impression. And of course what they have done vis-a-vis the previous generation is to reduce the size of the dashboard so that you can create an illusion of space. And also in addition to that, they have added twin airbags to keep you and your passengers safe while in the NP200, which is very commendable in this day and age. We need pickups that actually have dual airbags as standard. Now, moving over to the center console, as you can see here, let's start with the air vents, aircraft style vents as well, to keep you cool, calm and collected in any given scenario. Let's move over to the radio segment. It's a single DIN aftermarket radio from Pioneer. So of course, in your Pioneer actually is a good radio, so it has CD functionality. You have also USB functionality and an auxiliary cable. If you're a person with an iPhone, you can connect and listen to your music and enjoy the sound courtesy of the two speakers that are standard in this particular vehicle. Right below it, you do have a couple of switches. In between you do have the hazard, and I'm assuming this is for the higher spec models where you do have auxiliaries items like, you know, the fog lights and things like that. So it's right here. And right below it you have the AC system. The climate control now comes as standard in the NP200. The previous versions didn't have it. Now, as like I mentioned earlier, you're able to be cool, calm and collected while in the NP200.
This being a vehicle for practicality, space is the name of the game. Now you have plenty of cubbyholes and spaces in the NP200, as you can see, twin cup holders, and of course you can actually have space for your cell phone over there. Gearbox console as well, as you can see, standard, and you do have actually a 12-volt socket just to complement that. So as we move over to the instrument binnacle, now it has a white background. Now this white background creates an illusion of visuality. You're able to see all the dials, all the information quite easily. The steering as well. Amazing 3-spoke. If you've driven the Nissan Tida, similar type of setup with the steering wheel, it is comfortable on the hands, it has a bit of grip, and it's very, very good with the Nissan logo emblazoned on it. Now, big boy, as you can see, is very comfortable. The seats are very supportive. The main differences between the previous version of the NP200 is the foam hugging seats. So they're quite supportive for good lumbar support. Driving long distance will not be a hassle in this particular NP200. And that is something amazing. So guys, today on Cats with Big Boy Trev, we've just sampled the NP200. We've looked at its style, its practicality, and now it's time to find out how functional this particular car is. We're going to start with the engine power now. This particular engine that's in this NP200 is a 1.6 liter petrol engine, naturally aspirated with 8 valves per cylinder, and it produces 64 kilowatts or 86 horsepower and 128 newton meters of torque. That is sent to the front wheels courtesy of a 5-speed manual transmission, which on full beans gives you very good response. And of course, doing the economy run, this particular car will do 8 liters per 100 kilometers. In loose translation for your business, with the tank being 50 liters, it's able to do 625 kilometers on one full tank. Of course, that depends on the load, how you drive, and etc. But 625 is actually very good because you are able to go to Nairobi to Mombasa and go towards Malindi, of course, on reserve. You can go to Nairobi, Kisumu, and back on reserve as well. So in terms of fuel efficiency, it's right up there. It's the perfect vehicle for your business. And of course, with the rising fuel costs, this is the car for your business. You're able to do quite a lot with minimal of cost. Now, let's talk about the hardiness of the chassis. This particular NP200 is based on the CMF platform, which is on the Renault-Nissan Alliance. Now, this chassis, you also find it on the Renault Duster, which you know it is very hardy. It's very stiff. That means it can carry and have a payload of up to 800 kilograms, and of course, have good ground clearance of about 210 millimeters, so you can carry your stuff, lug it around quite easily. Up front, you do have McPherson struts, and at the back, you have a H-beam trailing axle with coil springs and a torsion bar to ensure that the rear doesn't bounce off and is very steady on any given surface. And of course, you do have high-profile tires that allows this car to go on maram stretches, so you're able to deliver your products and services at ease, which is very important. And in terms of safety, the previous generation of this particular car didn't have quite a number of things. So what Nissan have done is enhance the offering of the NP200 to include an active safety package. So for example, this car has anti-lock braking system, which is standard now because pickups need to have ABS to be safe. Now this prevents the wheels from blocking. During an emergency situation, you're able to swerve the vehicle into safety to avoid hitting an obstacle. But in case all hell breaks loose, then you can rely on the double airbags for the passengers and the driver that protects you and your passenger from harm's way. Up to 60% of crashes are actually hindered or prevented with the use of the airbag in conjunction with the safety belt, which is the primary safety component of this particular car. That said, what is more important? Value for money. Would you buy this particular car vis-a-vis what you probably get on a similar panel van from the other brands? We're going to find out as we do our value for money proposition right here on Cars with Big Boy Trev.
The Nissan NP200 is officially out of production. However, clean second-hand versions are readily available in the market with prices starting from 900,000 Kenya shillings to 1.5 million for the mint versions. Nissan is expected to replace the NP200 pickup later on this year with a much robust version with an all-new chassis and engine lineup. So do you reckon you would still buy the NP200? Send us your thoughts as seen on the social media handles below. We'll get back to you with the feedback next week. Until next week, drive safe and be safe.
You can't